Live from Studio A, the 6:30 Show with Dave Gray.
Hey, no clicking, it's me with the tie, and there you are at home saying to yourself, Dave, what is tonight's topic? Well, in our quest to make sense out of Littleton, Colorado, which you can't do, no matter how hard you try, what assessment do we make about the role of media in today's society? We seem to be hypocritical about the violence in the media. Have we gone too far? And what we show and what we print and what we play and portray in our venues and what our news and our entertainment, we are looking for something to blame. But we're always looking to blame. If our kid goes bad and the media is a defenseless target, that's what it becomes for the self-righteous rhetoric that passes for the intelligent debate these days. That's all it is. And we seem to want our children to watch nothing but these nice, positive stories, these after-school specials, so they'll be so filled with this Benini, Grateful Deadness that they go through life doing nothing but being those kids with the daffodils who place the little flowers in the soldiers' guns and just have a little love. But the truth is, TV isn't the biggest influence on your kids. You are. There's more real emotional violence and bad vibes in one forced family holiday than an entire World Wrestling Federation pay-per-view and a whole season of Dawson's Creek combined. So how are parents, administrators, and friends missing the warning signs that we always seem to find after the fact? I want your assessment right here and right now. Give us a call at 270-9933. Let us know how it is and how can it be. Go ahead, let's place some blame. Tell me who it is. Is it our fault as the media? Is it, I mean, because, when I say our fault, that's kind of a weird thing to do. I'm going to make this easy. Over the weekend, I watched a World Wrestling Federation pay-per-view. I've done it a million times. For the first time ever, last night, I did not watch wrestling. It's gone too far, and I think it's contributing to what is the pervasive attitude. But I think that if I had a child, I would take the child aside and say, listen, I think you shouldn't be watching this anymore. Now, where do you stand on this? Let's go to Chris in Madison. Chris, how are you?
What's up, Dave?
Hey, Chris, I'm doing well, man. How are you doing?
Hey, man, I'm living large.
Hey, and taking charge. Go ahead.
Well, number one, I think about if you look at MTV, MTV is like the most hypocritical channel on TV right now.
That's the thing. It used to be hip. Now it's just hypocritical.
Because the thing is, now they're doing this thing, take a stand against violence.
Yeah.
And then right after that, they either show a DMX or a rap video. I'm not blasting rap. I love rap. Or a Marilyn Manson.
You know what, man? I love rap music as much as anybody. I hate it when they shoot somebody in the video and then yell peace.
But see, the thing is, what kills me as a black man, you running around talking about, peace, love, and honor, but you turn around and shoot another brother for stepping on your shoes or just because you want to prove everybody how tough you are. And that's the problem with these kids today. They scared to go knuckle up and fight with their fists. They more ready to shoot somebody because the media, and the present company accepted, of course, the media and entertainment teaches them the only way you can deal with that is to get much more violent than your opponent.
Chris, what I got to ask you, you remember this Ice-T lyric? Last night I saw the most beautiful thing I saw in my life, two brothers engaged in a fist fight.
Yep.
What happened to that? What happened to when guys used to say, yeah, you know what, I have a problem with you, let's have a fist fight. Now, I'm not advocating a fist fight, but I'm saying if you really have a problem with a guy and you're a man and that's what it's about, go ahead.
When I was growing up, if me and a guy up the street had a problem, my mom brought me out, his mom brought him out, and we fought in the middle of the street. Sometimes you won, sometimes you lost.
But nobody died.
But nobody got killed.
Thank you for calling, Chris.
No problem.
Let's go to James in Madison. James says, James.
Hi.
How you doing, James?
All right, how you doing?
I am here.
Well, I just wanted to say how the media is showing so much violence. I mean, it's like going to a rated R movie and everything. I mean, and then they prohibit kids from going into our movies, yet where if you go and see all the killing like with Kosovo and like with Colorado, I mean, there's so much killing going on.
You know what's strange about the rated R movies? I went to KB Toys the other day, and they have toys there, man, from like aliens, from movies that kids aren't supposed to see, from rated R movies, from Terminator 2, from movies that the kids aren't supposed to see, but yet they're toys. They're marketing for these kids. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't at all. But I just think it's kind of, most news shows so much violence, and then, that's what the kids' parents are watching, so what does the kid think then? You go and see violence on the news, and that's supposed to tell you the world's happenings, and, you rarely see really good stuff happening on the news.
Exactly. Well, you know what? We're going to try and bring you some good news. Thank you for giving us a call tonight.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
Yep.
We've got Linda on line 4. Hey, Linda, how are you?
Hi, fine. How are you?
Well, Linda, I'm dapper, wouldn't you say, Linda?
Yeah.
You know, I try and keep things light, and I'll tell you what, people were talking about earlier, you're a comedian, and this is a time when it's my job to try and make people laugh, but at the same time, remember, it's not funny.
No, it isn't.
You know, this is a problem that's happening in our schools, and it's scary, but we've got to remember to keep our senses and our wits about us. Now, what do you have to say?
Okay, you mentioned about go ahead and place the blame. You know, well, I do want to place some blame somewhere, and I do feel that we're all kind of responsible for it. I mean, those that don't have children as well as those that do have children and those that work with children. And because this is a new society, the responsibilities bear even heavier on us adults and those that work in the industry with kids. I think we need to broaden our definitions of what gangs are a little bit. I remember one of the teachers that was being interviewed on Oprah's show from the Littleton incident said how, you know, they didn't see any signs and they didn't have a gang problem. But I'm thinking, well, what do you think a group of kids walking around with long black trench coats on, you know, is?
That's
you know,
a pretty
that's
bad
the
sign.
gang, you know, and it's not now the red. It's not the Crips and the Bloods, you know. It's
Yeah,
not
gangs
the
can be
regular
anything, man.
stereotype.
When I went out to LA to do comedy, man, I was scared to death, and I said, okay, let me get this straight. If I'm with the Reds, now that's that's the Bloods, right?
Right.
And I'm with the Blue, that's the Crips, and then I kept paying attention to both of those, and I ended up like a bunch of plaid guys. These golfers came and beat me up.
Right,
So it
and we-
doesn't matter who you are, they're gonna beat you up, and you got to be careful, and that's why it's sad and it's sick and it's pathetic. And now we've brought the mood way down low. And on that note, I think we'll go to commercial. We'll be back with more depressing talk. We're going to try and fix things and bring you people back up. I promise you that. With little happy dolls. There you are. And the new Dave Gray set behind me with the Dave Gray dancers. And more on the Dave Gray 630 show right after this. Back now on the 630 show with me, Dave Gray. The calls are flooding in, and we got more calls, 270-9933. Where does the blame go? Who is at blame when it comes to the Littleton, Colorado incidents? Now, we've got the calls coming in. Joe is here from Madison. Joe, hi, how are you? Joe? Joe?
Hello.
Joe?
Hello.
Is that it, Joe? That's all you got for me?
No, I have to say that the parents are the ones who blame.
See, that's what I was saying earlier, Joe. Now, don't you believe that when you need a license to drive a car, when you need a license to freaking go fishing, shouldn't you need a license of some kind to have a damn kid?
To nowadays, you would almost seem so. But I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I was fearful of even back talking to my parents.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, kids can do that because the parents do not have the lethal force as my old man brought the belt out. If I even back talk.
The old man would bring the belt out?
Oh yeah.
You know,
But he would only snap it, and that would give me the message.
and that
don't
would
do
let you
that
know
again.
right there?
Yeah, don't do that again. He never hit me or anything like that, but that just gave me a message. If I back talk, came home late from a curfew or whatnot, I may get that.
Well, Joe, we definitely need something more than timeouts. Thank you for calling, Joe. I think a timeout is kind of stupid, to be honest with you, a timeout. Ooh, I got to go sit in a corner by myself. Good, you won't be there, Mom. Thanks. We've got Felicia. Hi, Felicia.
Hi.
You have a cool name.
Thanks. Well, I was calling because I keep hearing everybody say the media, the media. I mean, the media is there to inform the public. And I believe if you start at home with raising your child properly and watching who they be with and watching what they do and what they say and what they watch, then you can have a control over it, over the overall outcome of whatever. I mean, I was raised pretty strictly. It was still things that I did that my parents don't know about, and I'm 30 years old. But basically, I believe it starts at home, and everybody needs to just stop saying the media, because if it wasn't for the media, we wouldn't be informed of any of this. You just need to pay attention to what your kids watch, do,
Felicia?
you know.
Felicia, I hate to interrupt you. Do you have a tissue?
Pardon me?
Do you have a tissue?
Yes.
Just one second. Can you put it by the TV?
Pardon me?
Can you put it by the TV?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but just my point was that everybody keeps saying the media, but, I mean, from television to what you see at the theaters, I mean, that's up to the parent whether they're going to let their child watch and see these things and to inform the child. Because, I mean, my children, I'm just honest with them, let them know what's what as far as gangs, drugs, where babies come from.
See,
I mean,
Felicia,
my
it
oldest
sounds like
one
you're
is
a good
10.
mom.
Just be honest with your kid from the beginning
Because
and
you're
let
a
them
good
know.
mom. Because you're a good mother. You know where your kids are and you know when your kids are there.
Exactly. And I mean, you can't, I mean, I see 9 and 10-year-olds roaming the street 10 o'clock at night. I mean, where's the parents? I fought the parents.
But,
That's who I fault.
you can fault the parent only to a certain extent, Felicia. I'm going to let you go. You can only fault them to a certain extent. These kids were at school. Now, you can fault them to the extent of, okay, that's not an erector set in your room. You're not building a Lego little land goofy thing. That's a pipe bomb. Now, most people know when there's explosive devices in the house. I pretty much can figure that out. Amy in Sun Prairie, hi.
Hi. I agree with the last caller. It is not just the media's fault.
Somebody's in the background right now about to kill somebody, Amy.
It's impossible to put blame on just one person or one event.
Mm-hmm.
But what's sad to me is all this media coverage that's been going on this past week, and that's giving these two kids, even though they are dead, it's giving these two kids the glory that they were searching for.
No, I don't think we're glorifying these two kids. What I'm trying to do
But they're getting attention.
No, there's no attention being placed on these two kids. There's attention being placed on the fact that this was wrong. And on the fact that there's anybody out there who's even on the edge of thinking and act like this, there is no glory. What happens is families get torn apart, people get torn apart. There's nothing happy after it.
But did you see on the news today, there are 3 different cases in Wisconsin alone of kids being arrested because they're copycatting the same event. They're making threats.
Okay, well, I tell you, we're going to talk about more about that because that's an interesting topic. I'm going to talk about more of the copycatting and more about that after we come out of break,
okay.
Even though I don't like your point. Right after this, when we go to commercial, did I say that out loud? After we go to, I did? I'm sorry. Commercial here on the 6:30 show with me, Dave Gray. I didn't say that out loud? Did she hear that or not? Did you have the mic off? You're supposed to have the mic off. The show continues. Here we go. The 6:30 show continuing on with me, Dave Gray. The talk gets more and more interesting now. We have Gary with us. Gary on line 5, and as if you know at home because I know you know all the numbers of the lines. Gary, hi.
How you doing, Dave?
Well, Gary, I got to tell you, Gary, I'm a little moist.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Thanks.
My reasons for calling, I'm going to make this real brief. I think that lawmakers should look back into giving the parents their rights back because it seems like all this stuff comes up after they took the rights away from the parents. The parents are now so afraid of the kids, they can't discipline them, and they can't make them do anything anymore.
When you mean that parents are afraid of their kids, you mean like they can't hit their kids?
Well, it's not hitting, I'm not talking about hitting the kid. I'm talking about disciplining them. I mean, so many times you be in stores or just be out anywhere and you hear kids talk to their parents any kind of way, and the parents are so afraid that they will be arrested because the kids
well, Gary, I can tell you there are plenty of ways to discipline and to make your kids accept that there are rules without hurting your kids.
Right, correct.
And the courts did not do that. There are plenty of ways, and if you're a parent and you have to use violence or anything that gets you in a court in order to make your kids understand you, then you are what's known as, and this is just a terminology I came up with, a parent who really sucks. Because you really, and I'm cutting you off, Gary, you really shouldn't need to have to go to court in order to be a parent. Because you can use your own skills in order, as a parent, like things like grounding, things like, hey, stay in your room, things like, hey, I'm watching you, you're not moving. No, that stuff works. You don't have to hurt your kids. You don't have to abuse your kids. We're not talking about abuse here. We do have Sean on line 1, and I think Sean's trying to be funny. I'm not quite sure. Sean, what do you have to say?
How you doing, Dave?
Well, I'm doing well. What do you got going?
Well, my comment is that I feel that it's more towards the teachers and the faculty at the school. How can you have a group of kids coming to school with trench coats on and nobody and you're not clicking what's going on with these long black trench coats? If you were in the inner city, for say, you can't even in Compton or Los Angeles take for say, you can't wear red or blue to school, period.
Well, you know what? The only thing I can equate that to, I went to see the movie, it doesn't matter what movie it was, I went to see Malcolm X though with a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And I had a leather jacket on, and I was dressed more like a quote-unquote thug that he was, and he had on a Raiders jacket. Remember they had those lawn Raiders starter jackets? And we were walking back to the hotel I was working at doing comedy. The cop pulled us over. I told her what I did. I told her I was a comedian, and she makes me in the back of the car do a joke for her to prove I'm a comic so that we can get out of the car. because she didn't like the jacket or the way we were dressed. So you can't classify or judge anybody in the way we're dressed. In the building today, all of a sudden, everybody in here is giving me tons more respect. Why? Because of this freaking thing. Because of this. It's a tie. You know what it is? I didn't even pay for this freaking tie. You know what? The leather jacket I wear in here every week, I paid like $400 for that leather jacket. I got this tie for free from a great clothing store, an amazing clothing store, don't get me wrong, but I got it for free. You know that? And everybody in here is going, oh, hey, man, you made it. You're really doing well. No, but that just shows you cannot judge people by the color of their skin, the way they dress, or who they are. You've got to make your judgment about what they are and about who they are and take the time to talk to them. Talk to your children and talk to your friends and talk to your enemies. We'll be back right after this. Sorry to all the callers, it's time now for the ever popular edition of this week's Media Bites. Go to picture number 1. 2 weeks ago, we proved once again that the early nerd gets the worm as Danny Kozlov, or as we call him here, the loser with no life, gets in line for the new Star Wars flick, which opens May 14th. Oh, great, that's terrific. Now I gotta get in line for Weekend at Bernie's The Next Generation. I gotta get there right away, that's terrific. Hey, switch! Here we see computer mogul Bill Gates daring to answer the question, where's Waldo? And by the way, losing his spot in line for the new Star Wars movie. Switching the picture again. Taking a bold stand against sexism and objectification of women, Pamela Anderson removed her breast implants recently, making herself a ugly, hideous creature who is hard to look at. And by the way, the Hubble telescope provides us with a view of Pamela Anderson's breast implants, the only properly way they can be viewed from Earth. From space. Here is a picture of a few good men and President Clinton. Here you see Monica Lewinsky proves you can even have your autograph written for you if you know the right people. Stick around here on TVW as we reveal the secrets of the hidden crown jewels. Next. Well, that's it for this week. And we made it work. We did Media Bites right. Come up here, Dell. Come up here. Get up here. This is Dell. He didn't like being on camera. We did it right. We did it. How much time do we have, Garrett? We got a minute and a half. Should I take some calls? Yeah. What the heck? Who do we got? I don't even know. Line 3. Who are you? Shannon.
Yeah, I had a comment on how kids dress and stuff in school. I think that those who dress with, gang clothes on, with, the long baggy pants and stuff like that, I think that they send a bad message. Versus
the long baggy pants sends a bad message?
Not just that, but the kids who, the way they act or talk, along with the baggy clothes.
Okay, so if I wear the baggy clothes but I speak really well, then I send a medium message?
Well, for me, for instance, if I see a bunch of kids walking around together with long coats on and baggy clothes and talking, a bunch of trash. And me and my children and my husband were at McDonald's one day, and we seen a bunch of people.
Shannon, I gotta interrupt you and tell you something, okay?
Sure.
My friend Blair went to high school with me, wore a black trench coat every single day, sleeps now probably till about noon every day. He actually smokes cigarettes too. But he went to Harvard, and now he's on Broadway. He's an actor.
Well,
in Harvard, he graduated second in his class. But while we were in high school, everywhere we went, people thought that he went and that he was high, or because he had a trench coat on, oh, he's a drug guy, oh, he's a nut. No, he had a trench coat on, so people like you, Shannon, would think, oh, that guy's nuts. But no, Shannon.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
you're not saying anything because I cut you off. Thank you for watching this week. Remember, it's not where you've been, it's where you're at. And in this case, it's Shannon trying to call back in. So, we will see you people again next time, and I'll have a different tie because apparently it makes you call back in. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. I'm Dave Gray. Time for the head bob. Hey, it's me, Dave. Next time on the 6:30 show, Sarah Michelle Gellar and are the organizations that help the What? Yeah, I told you I was going to lie once in a while.